John Jungkook was the kind of CEO who didn't tolerate nonsense. He was strict, devoted, and took his work too seriously. The entire company failed him except for you. Why? Well, because you were his secretary and his fiancée. The problem? He treated you just like every other employee during work hours. Cold, distant, and professional. But you, being the little chaos that you were, loved testing his patience. Inside Jungkook's office, 10 a.m. You walked in carrying a few files and found Jungkook with his glasses on, eyebrows furrowed, typing something furiously. You smiled. Damn, you look like one of those K-drama CEOs who'll fire someone for breathing too loudly. Jungkook didn't even glance up, and you look like someone who should be working instead of wasting my time. You rolled your eyes and placed the files on his desk. Relax, boss. I'm just trying to lighten your mood. You're always so serious. That's because I run a company, not a circus. You gasped dramatically. Are you saying I act like a clown? Jungkook finally looked up, giving you a bored stare. Did I say that, or did you just admit it yourself? You placed a hand on your chest. Ouch, my heart. You wounded me, Mr. John. He sighed. Wine, do you have something important to say, or are you just here to irritate me? You smiled sweetly. Can't it be both? Jungkook pinched the bridge of his nose. You are impossible. Shrugging, you leaned over his desk. Come on, let's take a break. You have been working for hours. Even robots need charging. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. And what do you suggest we do, Miss Secretary? You grinned mischievously. Rock, paper, scissors. If I win, we take a break. Jungkook scoffed. I have meetings, fine. I don't have time for childish games. You pouted. Fine, but at least drink some water. You haven't moved from that spot in forever. He rolled his eyes but took the glass you offered. Happy now? You nodded. Very. Now let's talk about the upcoming event. You are giving a speech, right? Jungkook gave a small nod. Yes, and I need you to prepare the necessary documents. You saluted playfully. Yes, Captain. He sighed. Why did I hire you? You smiled. Because I'm the best secretary in the world and because you're going to marry me. Jungkook's lips twitched, almost smiling, but he quickly covered it with a fake cough. He is in deep love with you and anyone can tell, but he tries so hard to maintain that professional look because you make it very hard for him to focus on anything else. Go back to work, Ryan. And so you did, but not without sending him a flying kiss before leaving. He chuckled, looking down before shaking his head. Later in the day, after a long meeting, you were exhausted. Jungkook had barely acknowledged you the entire time, too focused on discussing numbers and statistics. Annoyed, you decided to get his attention. The two of you were alone in the conference room after a particularly long and grueling meeting with investors. You couldn't help but notice the exhaustion in his eyes. Hey, he said, sitting down beside him. You look like you're about to fall asleep. Maybe we should call it a day. Jungkook rubbed his temples, sighing. I can't afford to take a break right now. You rolled your eyes playfully. You were seriously going to work until you drop, huh? even though we're getting married soon? He glanced over at you. We'll talk about that later. A teasing grin spread across your face. Oh, we'll talk about it now. You need to unwind, Jungkook. You gave him a gentle nudge. Or maybe we can go grab dinner later, if you're not too busy, that is. Jungkook shook his head, a small smile playing at the edge of his lips. I'll be fine, Ryan. You should go home and relax. But as you stood up, a thought slipped out. Okay, brother, I'll leave you to your work. For a moment, you didn't realize the weight of your words, but the silence that followed made your stomach drop. Jungkook stood up so fast it made your heart race. What did you just call me? Your eyes widened. You weren't expecting such a quick reaction from him. Wait, I didn't mean. He glared at you. Say it again, Ryan. Your heart skipped a beat. You nervously laughed. It was a mistake. I meant boss, obviously. Silly me. Jungkook's voice dropped dangerously low, but there was an underlying intensity. You called me brother Ryan, not boss. You chuckled nervously, scratching the back of your neck. I swear it's just a slip of the tongue. Is it that big of a deal? He raised an eyebrow. Oh, it's sure a big deal, dear love. He took a step back. Don't look at me like that. His eyes darkened. You are dead when we get home. Your heart stopped. Huh? You barely had time to process the heavy tension hanging between you and Jungkook after the brothers slip up. The car ride home was uncomfortably silent, your thoughts racing, knowing Jungkook wasn't someone you could brush off so easily. You stepped into the penthouse. You both lived together, trying to act casual, but your steps faltered as Jungkook suddenly appeared behind you. Where do you think you're going, sweetheart? His voice was calm, but there was an edge to it you hadn't heard before. You turned around trying to maintain a cool look. Jungkook, I swear it was just a slip of the tongue. You're making too big a deal out of this. But Jungkook didn't seem amused. He stepped forward with determined strides. Oh, it's a big deal, alright. Before you could react, his hand gripped your wrist, pulling you in the direction of the bedroom. What are you doing? You're going to learn that there are consequences for calling me brother. Your eyes widened. Jungkook, come on, stop. I said I'm sorry. You struggled in his grip, but it was no use. Jungkook was way too strong, and his determination only made your heart race faster. With one swift motion, he opened the bathroom door, dragging you inside. Your stomach did a flip as you realized what was about to happen. No, wait, this isn't necessary. I was kidding, just a slip of the tongue. He didn't answer. Instead, he turned the shower handle, the sound of water rushing filling the air. What are you? You froze, your pulse quickening as you watched him step into the shower, his clothes already soaked from the water hitting him. You were still fully dressed, but Jungkook didn't seem to care. He reached to you. Jungkook, stop. You tried to push him away, but he didn't budge. In one swift move, he pulled you into the stream of water with him. You gasped, the cold water hitting your skin, making you shiver. What are you doing? My clothes! Clothes? You should have thought about that before calling me brother instead of fiancé, Vian. Your eyes widened and you tried to pull back, but his hand shot out, grabbing your waist and holding you tightly against him. No, please, I didn't mean it. You're taking this too seriously. Jungkook's eyes darkened, his lips curling into a teasing smirk. Taking it too seriously? You don't get to make fun of me like that. You are my fiancée, not my sister, got it? Your heart was racing now, the tension thick in the air. I know, Jungkook, I'm sorry. You could feel the weight of his gaze on you, the warmth of his body so close to yours as the water ran over both of you. He didn't answer at first. Instead, his thumb grazed the edge of your chin, lifting your face so you couldn't look away. The heat between you was visible, and for a second, the only sound was the steady flow of water. Look at me, Ryan, he demanded. His voice was rough, and you could feel your knees weaken under the intensity of his stare. You swallowed hard. I'm looking. Jungkook leaned in, his face inches from yours. Do you understand what you have done? You hesitated, your chest tightening with the weight of his words. I didn't mean to offend you. He smirked. You did offend me, but now you're going to show me how sorry you really are. Before you could respond, his lips crashed against yours. The kiss was heated and intense, leaving no room for hesitation. Your mind went blank as the kiss deepened, and your body instinctively pressed closer to him. Jungkook's hand moved to the small of your back, pulling you even tighter against him, if that was even possible. The water continued to cascade over both of you, but it barely registered in your mind. All you could focus on was the way his lips moved against yours, the way he made you feel both overwhelmed and exhilarated at once. He pulled back just enough to speak, his voice low and husky. Say it, who am I to you? You hesitated, cheeks burning. My fiancé. His grip tightened, and you bit your lip. My boss. His lips brushed against yours, and you swallowed hard. My future husband. Jungkook smirked, good girl, and then he kissed you again. It was, let's just say, was a very rough night because Jungkook didn't just stop there. It was a whole makeout session till midnight before he let you sleep, and you would be lying if you say you didn't enjoy it. The next morning you woke up sore. You turned to see Jungkook already staring at you. You are creepy. Jungkook chuckled seeing your reaction, and you are cute. You blushed. I hate you. He kissed your forehead. Love you too, my dear fiancé. And just like that, the CEO won again.